Okay, we're going to be going live in just a moment. Okay, I think. Yes, we are live, so you can begin the meeting. I'm going to let Mac in and you can begin.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to call the Wednesday, July 10th, 2024 Akron Public Art Commission meeting to order. I'm going to go ahead and go through a roll call. I see we have Megan, Jessica, and Stephanie, and myself, Andy Hillier, all online. Instead of going through a full roll call where everyone says I already know, I'm just going to state that we're missing John Fume, Roberta Rogers, Katie Beck, and Larissa. Remember Larissa's last name Brown. Larissa Brown and Eric Reynolds. So on the agenda, we called the meeting to order, went through the roll call. We can't move to approve the minutes from the last meeting because we don't currently have enough people online. We don't have enough commissioners to get a quorum. So we're going to go ahead and for now, hopefully table that. And if we have quorum by the time that the meeting's over, hopefully we will be good to go. So we do have Mac Love here. Mac Love is going to be presenting on, I believe, renewal of a mural that is on Howard Street, just kind of over by Lock 15 Brewing and kind of like down the hill from Luigi's over there by the river. And I'm just going to let him go ahead so he can go ahead and get on and get off here because I think he has an event right after this. So, Mac, you want to take over?
Hey, thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. And thanks for fitting me in the front of the agenda. I'm coaching a T-ball game this evening, so appreciate it. What we wanted to do today was to represent for some of the new commissioners the Black Lives Matter mural restoration, because we had pitched it to the Art Commission, I think a couple years ago, and this was a kind of new sort of proposition for the Art Commission. And so there was some talking that had to happen internally about how to handle a project like this because it didn't require any funding. It is city-owned property though, but because it was created before the formation of the Art Commission, there was a question of whether or not it needed to be approved. And the feedback that we got was that it does not. But when we were ready to proceed, that we should reapproach the Art Commission and the city so that we can confirm closure of the street for one day to restore the mural. I don't know if I have sharing abilities here, but I can show some of you what the mural looks like here, if any of you would like to see. Let's see. Oh, looks like I do. Okay. All right. So the mural today is still visible, although you really have to be looking at it kind of up close. I mean, you can see it when you're standing right on top of it, but not the way you used to be able to, which was visible from very far away, coming all the way down Howard Street or coming from North Side. This was highly visible. One of the reasons why this was so important us, and just so you know, our role in this was we were essentially contacted by city council leaders following the death of George Floyd or the murder of George Floyd, and were asked if we could help facilitate and organize a local Black artist-led Black Lives Matter mural. So we reached out to our network, we confirmed the scheduling and the time, we worked with the artists to develop concepts, to secure materials, timing, reach out to volunteers, coordinated the whole thing. We donated our services for this. And so this was created in 2020. And it was actually the first Black Lives Matter mural in the state of Ohio. If you do look this up and try to read news articles about it, you will see that Cleveland and Cincinnati do claim that theirs were first. But if you look at the dates of the articles and read them, you will see that Akron's was actually completed. I think it was 2 days or 3 days before Cleveland's, and I think 2 days before Cincinnati's. So that does make it pretty significant. It's also like pretty awesome that this was like a community-led effort. And so all of the original artists, there were 4 local Black artists who were all paid for their time to design the concept and to lead volunteers in the creation of this mural. All 4 have expressed an interest and are on board to come back and to restore it. But one of the exciting things that we wanted to share with all of you too in this instance is that let me see if I can toggle to the next slide here. Well, there you can see a little aerial view of how it has changed a little bit. That's from Google Earth, and that's probably still a little old. This is we painted this using street paint. Street paint tends to hold up for about like 3 to 5 years, depending on wear and tear. And since this is a very heavily salted area at the base of the road, it does need to be retouched or maintained on a more like a 3 to 4 year basis. The building that you see here on the middle slide right there is exactly in like the middle of where the Black Lives Matter mural is. The area in the grass to the left of that is where we staged our materials and our water and for all the volunteers to get shade, to put on sunscreen, whatever they needed. Tony Tropy owns that building, and it has been getting vandalized a lot. I mean, it was vandalized before we even painted the Black Lives Matter mural. It tends to be some graffiti, just some other juvenile stuff. But Tony has agreed, like preemptively. I still have to walk down to the site and meet him specifically, talk about it, but we've discussed it in passing several times. He has given his like preemptive verbal approval for us to remove the like weeds that are growing around the outer edge of that, and to spray the entire building in like a charcoal gray, and then to allow a new set of local artists of color to come down and to paint murals on the 3 street-facing facades of that building. One of the reasons we thought that was important was because it's, first of all, it's right in the line of sight for people who aren't looking down at the mural, but also should the city ever need to, say, resurface this road or do repairs to the bridge, there could still be an ongoing, symbol that could survive here in this space until the mural could be restored again, should we assuming we were allowed to maintain it in perpetuity. And there are some young artists that volunteered with the Black Lives Matter mural originally, particularly Michaela and Malia Clark. They have both expressed interest in being involved in painting a mural on those sides of the building. And so what we're looking to do is to get permission to close the street for 1 day to restore the mural. And then on the second day of the weekend that we would close that, we would continue painting on this building. And so what we'd like to get from you is if you have any questions or concerns, to please let us know, and then to see if we can confirm a date for street closure, assuming that city planning and services don't have any objections as well.
Mac, what is the date that you would like to get started?
We were aiming for July 27th for the street closure. I was thinking a Saturday, preferably, but if another date is easier for the city, you can just let me know.
Okay.
We would like to be able to give the community 2 weeks notice, or at least the original group of volunteers who came out to paint it.
Okay. And then, sorry guys, just to jump in, just a few questions as far as housekeeping. At this present time, the city still owns that building. And I know they're working with Mr. Tropy to finalize whatever that they're doing. So before anything goes on with that building, we have to make sure it changes hands and or get permission in advance. Sorry, I'm off the screen, from the city. So I've been working through that, seeing, when things will be moving forward with that. But
I
once the
apologize for
city
that.
yeah, once the city no longer owns that building, then whomever takes ownership, or if it's Mr. Tropy, um, that would not be public art, as far as this commission. So that would be a private owner um, doing having work done. But it is in the right of way, so it's kind of like a catch-22. It's in the right of way. So yeah, bring it to the Public Arts Commission, but that's someone's building that they own. So it's like a private entity, but we just have to make sure what goes on that building is tasteful and uh, is no harm as far as to the city or anything like that, which I know, that's not something you'll do. I just have to state that.
Oh, I
Um,
completely understand. I wouldn't want to put the city in a bad position with anything there either.
oh, definitely.
When we get it, so forgive me because it was my understanding the whole time that Tony actually owns the building. So when we when that is confirmed and approved, I will have the artist develop concepts preliminarily so that you can see them and approve them.
Yeah, that's fine. And we can always talk about that at a later date. But I just didn't know if you were going to start working on that building just yet. So kind of just hold off on that
Yeah,
until
not now.
everything is um, solidified and legal. And then we can move forward on that. Okay. So that's pretty much all I had for you. And then hopefully I'll get some feedback from the service department or engineering team, just making sure that the street, they don't have any plans for that area, and that the street can get closure. Now you will need to fill out a form, trying to think, with recreation for the street closure. Lori Cheveneve, she's the one that um, is over the forms and road closures and things like that. I do have that application I can forward to you. And then we can move forward from that. So we just got to get like the permits and all the proper paperwork
Okay.
In order.
From the
Okay, sorry,
looks
guys.
of the, oh, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You're good.
I was waiting to see the green box light up around me. Okay. From the looks for the picture, for the restoration, it's a different mural. It's like the same mural, but it's being condensed. Is that correct?
No, that was just a graphic that we created for social media to stack the words. The restored mural will be exactly on top of the original,
Okay.
exactly as it was. If the artists have time and do want to, like, add some extra decorative embellishments or patterns, I'm okay with it. But we weren't going to make any substantial changes. The goal was just to restore it as it originally was.
Got it. Just from the picture, and I couldn't tell if that was a new look or, yeah, marketing.
That was it was me trying to fit a wide image into a narrow screen.
Mm-hmm.
I hope if we can get approval for this, please extending the invitation. I would love to have you all out there if you want to lend a hand in painting it. I'd be happy to share the video. It was a wonderful turnout when we did it in a really great community building and kind of healing experience for a lot of people. So I know it'll mean a lot to have that brought back.
Yeah, I personally don't have any additional comments on it. I think it looks great. I thought it looked great the first time you put it up there. I drive past that road probably 5 times a week. I drive right over that section of road, so be happy to see it every day almost. So if I have free time, I'd love to come out and paint. So I don't know if anyone else has additional comments on any of it, Megan or Jessica.
I have a quick question. Mac, will the street need to be cleaned by the city before the art can be
That's a
done?
good question.
No, last time what we did was we swept it beforehand. So if we can get, I believe they closed it at like 10 p.m. or something like that. It was like in the evening one day, and it was a 2-day closure the first time. If that's feasible for the city, I mean, I'd like that just to avoid, people driving on it too soon, but whatever is feasible for the city, and we don't want to. There was a question the first time too about leaving the outside lanes open for traffic. I would like to have no passing traffic if we can have that just from a safety standpoint. You can, well, sorry, you're not looking at the presentation now. Basically, barricades were put up at both ends of that section of the road.
So are we looking at Cuyahoga Falls Avenue to North Street?
Yes, exactly.
It's no wider than that. It doesn't go across North Street or
No, it doesn't. No, it's right in the section right there where Cascade Lofts is. And of course, we would want to, if the data is secure, I'd want to make sure that those businesses are notified and as well, and the people in the apartments. They were very supportive the first time around and provided food for all the volunteers. So I'm hopeful they'd be okay since they still have a point of entry and egress on the other side of the building.
so Lock 15, there's a back entrance for their guests to come.
There is on North Street.
Okay. And then when you guys did this was 2021 when you did this mural, right? Or was it 2020?
Yeah, it was 2020.
It was what, like April of 2020 or May of 2020, something
I
like
think
that?
it was July
Was it July?
or June. Might have been, sorry, it was June 2020.
Okay. Who notified the businesses and the residents? Was that
I believe that might have been Tara Mosley. She was the one who was leading a lot of the communication at the time.
okay?
She's also
Perfect.
supportive and on board for this project, but similarly, I just said we could help coordinate it again.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, just one more thing. I was just over by Cascade Lofts in Lock 15 like this past weekend. I think there's construction happening on North Street right now, or at least there was when I was there a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's blocked off where the towpath is.
Yeah.
You're
So I'm wondering, Mac, do you know if that's going to be done to provide that extra way out for folks, or
I think we'd have to defer to the city service department and find out what their schedule is with this. I think it would make sense to wait for that construction to be done, or at least to know that there's passage that way, so people can get around easily.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. So thanks, Megan, for bringing that up because I rode past and I was like, oh, it's blocked off.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Thank you.
Gotcha. Jessica, do you have any comments?
No, it's just that I think it's a really good idea to restore it, because the message is still clear. And I appreciate Mac for organizing it.
Thanks, Jessica.
Gotcha. Well, I know we don't, although I do think we have a quorum now that Roberta's here. We're not approving anything for this. So, Mac, if you just want to, stay on, hang out, or go to your T-ball coaching match, whatever you want to do, we'll, defer that to you.
Thanks, everybody. I'll do that, and I will look forward to checking in with you about the public art map and art inventory. And Summer, I'll look forward to hearing from you about Tony Trophy's building and potential dates for the road closure.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks so much
Thanks,
for
everybody.
presenting and sharing that with us.
Bye, Matt.
Bye. All right. So I'm going to move on to approving the meeting minutes from June 12th, 2024. Now that we have a quorum, if everyone's okay with the meeting minutes, if you've read them and you don't have any comments on the meeting minutes, if somebody could motion to approve those.
I can approve those. Or
So
motion.
Megan motions to approve. Do we have a second?
This is Roberta. I second it.
Roberta seconds. So all in favor of approving the meeting minutes, say aye.
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 All right, I think that's everybody. Aye, me too.
Aye.
So that's 5 of us, which is a quorum. So that means we're approving the meeting minutes from June 12th, 2024. So the next bit that we have to go over is the traffic signal boxes. We did finalize the artwork selections. We sent out the poll afterwards to kind of reduce down the art we were going to choose from one of the other artists in order to choose another piece we all, I think, responded to that. I think, Summer, I guess I never asked you this one-on-one. Did everyone end up responding to that, or just timeout? We ended up getting like everyone to respond, and that was how it was finished, or
Right. So for our deadline, majority of people did respond. There
okay,
were
cool,
like 2 people that didn't, and then Haley sent out another email.
good.
So I do ask, when we set deadlines, I try to give at least a week, week and a half. If you guys could just take, some time out just to respond to the surveys and to the emails, it'll make life a little easier because we have other work to do. And then just to have to go back and forth and back and forth, it makes it kind of hard. So we can just start responding to emails or and not and to surveys by deadlines. That would be much appreciated.
Gotcha. And so, updates on new quote discussion with the selected contractor. This meeting did not get set up yet. So I'm gonna take the lead on setting up this meeting. I talked to Summer and I have the info from Central Graphics as well as the schedules of everyone who requests to be involved, which I think was John and Larissa, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and if anyone else wants to be involved, feel free to message me. But I'm going to set up the meeting for a time that works on my calendar and then everyone else's as possible and try to get that meeting down. I'm going to kind of use the stow rates as a basis and then work that I'm familiar with in the past to kind of see what a reasonable rate would be without them just maxing out the budget we had originally provided and see if we can get an updated quote. This would be a part when we wrote the RFP of the feedback process that we kind of wrote into the RFP where we said the city's open to like have a discussion after the selection. We didn't technically select anyone yet. So we're just gonna back and forth and see what they're willing to do in terms of like the rates, given like what the city of Stowe got for theirs. So we're not just paying all of what we said the initial budget was. And since we already have a lot of the traffic box locations and stuff picked out and we did budget that amount, I think Summer mentioned this before, but we could always motion to approve afterwards of potentially doing more work as well, which might be a part of the discussion that we have with them. So I'm going to talk to them and see what we can do with that. And that's kind of where that's at this point. So I guess no new updates other than we're going to do it before the next meeting, hopefully, with Central Graphics. So new
Could I
business.
insert
Yeah. Yeah.
real quick? This
Mhm.
is where Warren showing his interest to be on the board. He
Mhm.
currently works at AA Blueprint, and he's always worked at a graphic place. And he's helped me out with projects by bringing where he works and his skill set. So the connection could be like a better rate. Because I believe whoever gets the job, it's a really good to make the wraps and do them. The profit, I think, is pretty high, but it is a skill. So I don't know if the timing of that could be anything, but I think he'd be willing to help, even if
Yeah.
he's not on the board. If you're starting to talk to new places, that could be, and I could talk on behalf, or one of you guys could reach out.
Yeah, I think that's good. One thing we do have to do is if we're not going to accept either one of these companies, we have to decline both proposals from this RFP and then start over. Because we opened it up and those are the only 2 companies that applied. So we have to close this first chapter and then we can reopen it up as a second round for a second RFP for other companies. And then whomever you can definitely talk to them, send them the RFP and have them apply if that's the route that we're going to go. Because right now this is a City of Akron RFP, a City of Akron commission, but at this present time, it's not really public funding because we have no TIF money. So this money was a donation. So because it's not public money, I can look into seeing how we can move forward. And that's with our law department because I want to make sure everything's politically correct and done legally. But yes, so once we speak with, Central Graphics, you can talk to them and try to negotiate a different price. If they choose not, that's their right. And then we can close this RFP and move forward to another RFP or
And,
the pleasure of the board?
anyone, commissioners or otherwise, if we happen to have new commissioners over the next few weeks or anything before we have the meeting, I would always be happy for anyone with additional expertise to join me. I have a little bit of experience with things like this, but I haven't done a ton of like large format kind of vinyl wraps, just large format art in general. So obviously always open to like bringing in anybody to help provide advice or, consulting. So that we make the best and most, well-informed decisions we can. So I would definitely appreciate that.
And
Or
when
just being
people are
able to hear the
selected, such as you
perspectives.
guys are selected for this commission, I do try to look at different skill sets for everyone. And I try to, pick out those different skill sets. You don't learn if everybody has the same skill set. So a lot of you, majority of you all have something different that you bring to the table that helps build this commission. So you know, if people's terms are up, we will look for someone or some other people who have different skill sets that can enhance this commission. So yeah.
Gotcha. Does anyone else have any other comments like on the topic before I move forward? Megan, Roberta, Jessica, etc. I think that's all of you here. We're just a small group today.
I'm just hoping that it progresses quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you on it. Hit some snags, but I feel like we're making progress every month.
Yeah.
So
We are.
Yeah. And even though we don't have a company selected, there's still work to do, right? So we have the 20 submissions. Now we have locations, so Haley put together a beautiful form for you guys to be able to look at all of the highest traffic locations within the city of Akron in all 10 wards. She provided more than 3
let me share my screen.
locations. And if you guys have locations, I've been asking, hey, if you have areas, please let us know. And I submitted that over for her to look at the counts. So we can move forward and start picking the locations. So then once we do get a company, we have everything we need to provide to the company. And then we can move forward versus coming back and having these same discussions. So
I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you guys
just
can see my screen now too, by the way. I'm sharing it. We're gonna go over these documents next, so I just wanted to bring it up so you guys could see it. I think it's up.
I think, okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to mention that I don't know what it is about this document and the other document that Haley, right, put up, but it's just so much easier to understand than when we got Mike from the city to come. And not to say that like his wasn't good to understand. I liked seeing it from GIS, but this for my brain just really
Oh yeah, Haley knocked it out of the park.
I know, right? Like there's so many different ways that the data is being visualized. And I'm just like, wow, this was fantastic to look at when I got this email. So just want to kudos.
Thank you. So Mike's job was not to break it down for everyone. Mike's job that I asked him, could he take the numbers, like find all of the busiest intersections in Akron? And that's his skill set, is finding the information, getting all of that stuff together and submitting all of the documentation and documents in all 10 wards. So that was here, commission. This is what we have. This is what I asked of Mike. And we have a good relationship. So when I go to him, he usually, does pretty much anything that I ask. The second piece, I went to Haley and said, okay, how can we break this down and make it easy for all of us to understand? And based upon the information that Mike performed. So Haley, I said, pick the top 5, 6, no more than 6 locations, and let's put something together where we can show the commission and as well as myself to be able to look at and understand. And you give Haley a task and you give her a vision and she brings that vision to life. So I totally appreciate Haley for doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate Haley too. This is nice to look through. Um, just like that extra level of distillation down definitely makes it easier to read. The photos as well, like obviously taking the time to go out and get the photos isn't as easy. Um, I do think that we should approach this kind of with the idea that each of us is from a different ward, right, Summer? And we have, which ward is not represented on the commission? Is there one that's not represented?
There's a few.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But I think that today, since there's 5 of us, hopefully everyone comes to all the meetings or like is able to like schedule time for them. But I think we should try to maybe like stick looking at the wards for now. I can scroll down through this document that Haley prepared and look at the wards that we represent with who we have today for decision making. And then we don't have to, I don't think we have to make a decision on every ward all at one time. I think we could probably, we know we're going to choose 2 per ward because we already approved that in a prior meeting. So we could go through each ward and kind of start to discuss which 2 we want to choose from each ward and like get to make progress towards from the various wards, choosing the actual set of traffic boxes. So I'll start
Yeah, that's a
taking
good
notes too.
idea. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think that's a great idea.
I'm going to keep Word open. And what I'm going to do is we can have a discussion on the wards that we're from. That way we're familiar with the areas. I'm familiar with some of these other areas too, because I drive all around the city every day. And we can all provide feedback and discussion here and start trying to decide. So
before you get started, Andy, so the only wards that are not represented with the Public Arts Commission is 7, 9, and 10. And I probably would recommend 2 things. One, picking 3 versus 2, because even though you select, I still will have to go back to our service department and just make sure that there is nothing in the works for that box to be removed or anything, because I don't know the plans of our engineering and traffic department, right? So before I give it an open-ended question to them, I want to have some things where they can take a look at and say, hey, these are the 3 locations that were selected per ward.
Right.
Is there anything wrong with these locations? So then if they say no to all of them, then we can come back with maybe like a survey like we did with the art. And then you guys will pick 2 pieces in each.
Yeah. And I also think the other benefit and upside to that is if I go to have a discussion with Central Graphics and we find that we get a pretty good rate and we're like well under the budget, if we wanted to approve wrapping more traffic boxes or something, if we wanted to, I know we already chose the art, but maybe there's like extra, flexibility there and already had discussions on what the next best options are for additional traffic boxes. So
what we can do, the rest of the art that's still there that you guys didn't select from, I can see if Haley could put another kind of survey together for the additional art. And then we can move forward with the next 10 top, the next 20 top, and do that. She leaves me in August, so I got to get busy.
Yeah, I bet we could probably, if we get it by August, we could probably hold off and just, if we get the discussion with Central Graphics, I think it'll give us more clarity on what we do moving forward. Hopefully, get just at least more information to like make a decision on that. So
yes.
So I'm just gonna ask each of you which ward you represent, and I should know. I actually have it up here in Google. The thing is, I don't have as many monitors as I would like today, and so I don't have all the screens up, so I can't see visually which ward you're from.
So I'll just state really quick. Stephanie represents Ward 3, Jessica 4, Andy 6, Roberta 4, Megan 5. And I am Ward 8.
So we have 3, 6, 4, and 5 today. Is that what I got?
Sorry, guys. I thought I mentioned this a little while ago. I moved into Ward 10 about 2 years ago. So, but I literally moved like 5 blocks out of Ward 5. So like I am still very like active and knowledgeable about Ward 5. I could still help with the Ward 5 ones. But I literally like I was in Ward 5 and then I moved like 5 blocks east. And so I'm in the same neighborhood, but not in the same ward.
I'm
in
also
Ward 10.
pretty familiar with 5, 10, and 6. That's like my neighborhood pretty much. So
I'm also familiar with 5, 5, 7, and 3.
mm,
Yeah. And I was raised in Ward 3, but now I'm in Ward 8. So I think we have a good mix of people, and then the others, that jump on and give their input.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when you guys can't make a meeting, I would really recommend that you take the time to look at the recorded meeting. But I really would like everyone to be at the meeting. So
I
Yeah.
grew up,
all
I
right.
don't know if you guys can see my mouse. I grew up right there, that very corner of Akron. That's where I'm from. The edge. I'm almost an outsider, almost.
No, I don't see. Oh, where? Show it again. Where?
Right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You
I
can't
have the
even
picture
see it.
blue
It's
one.
like hidden.
I
It's
had the
tiny.
picture blue one, so I cut off the one you was
Oh,
pointing to.
gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we have
Andy,
represented words. Yep.
I think we've talked about this before, but you and me grew up in very close areas.
Wait,
So
where
because
were you?
I was do you know the Baptist church on East Market?
Yeah.
Right behind there, basically.
Oh, yeah. We're basically like grew up like right in the same neighborhood then.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got this, guys.
Okay.
So
All right,
6,
let's do it then. Let's do
10,
it.
5, 4, 3, and we don't have anyone from Ward 9 that's not represented here. I
Right.
think we should we're looking at south of Akron, is what I'm really getting from this. So we're kind of looking at the south side of this map. If we just go
You just
ward
go
by
through
ward,
each one, and if
yeah,
you guys have something to add to it, it may
Yeah.
not be a high traffic location, but if it's a location that's in a neighborhood that you think gets a lot of traffic, just per the traffic count that Mike did for me, um, you guys can probably just discuss that, and we don't have to be on it very long. You give your input, and then we can add that to the list.
all right. I'm gonna pull back up the other document. So I'm just gonna bring up the pictures. I feel like that's helpful. The ones that are highlighted up here are the ones that are the pictures down here. So there are additional intersections, by the way. So these aren't the only intersections. So these ones that are highlighted here, for example, if we look at this neighborhood in Ward 1, we're kind of looking over in like the what would you call it? Highland Square area.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Top. Wow. I can't picture what it. Oh, never mind. I got it now.
Yeah, it's
I
right
couldn't
here.
picture what the top one was at. Okay, I got it now.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's like Merriman Road where it kind
Yep.
of intersects, and House
Mhm.
330 is down here. We have
Yeah.
Merriman Road, Memorial Parkway. All this up here is kind of, I'll just
Yeah.
say, rich people neighborhood. I wish I could afford a house up in here personally. It'd be really nice. I'd take one. And then this goes all the way down like into the city, basically, Ward 1.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's basically, I think that main road going all the way up through is Market, pretty much Market and Merriman.
Yeah.
It's like where most of the stuff is here.
Yeah.
And so I think these traffic boxes there's 4, 5, 2, and 3 here, mapped out here. In terms of the intersections, I'm thinking that's some of these, like this one, for example, at the CVS there on the corner by Highland Theater.
Yes.
And then this
So that one
one's
right
down by
there,
Circle K.
yeah. So the West Market one, the one you pointed to right there,
Yeah.
that's across from, I'm real like landmarks is kind of like my
Mustard
thing. So
Seed,
that's
right?
Mustard
Yeah.
Seed
Yeah.
Yes.
and Walgreens.
Yes.
The one up above West Market in Merriman is right there by McDonald's and the I Promise School.
Yep,
Yep.
the graveyard's right there too. You can see it. So it's actually
Yep.
like that Y where Merriman and Market. Yeah, it says Market and Merriman. Yeah. That's the
It's
gas station, right? It was the self-serve, or not the non-self-serve gas station for a while.
right
Wait.
across from Rodney's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
House 330 is across from it, and Rockney's on the other side of it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
And
then
with
the one to the left is,
This
you
isn't
make that a little
downtown,
larger.
actually. This is, you know where this
That's
is?
coming
This is
from the
right
inner
by the
belt.
inner belt. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So that's Perkins
Yep.
in Maine
So
by
this,
APS.
yeah, it's
Yep.
by APS, and the glass blowing studio is on the other
Mhm.
corner of it, and Luigi's and all that's right there. And then this is the library. I think most people know Chipotle and the library in Highland Square as well.
Yeah.
These are almost right next to each other, actually. So the Westmark and
Yeah, they're
South
really
Portage
close.
Path and Highland Square Library are right by each other. Something I did notice immediately with the library one, this is
It's
my
all messed
input,
up.
and then I'll stop talking so you guys can talk, but there's stickers all over it.
All
I
over
think
it.
there's stickers all over the other one too, but there's like
Yeah,
way more
but
stickers
mainly
on
the
the library
library.
one because that's right next
Yeah.
to the bars, but I
Yep.
don't know, it's just comment.
Yeah. That's why I like I like the one Portage and West Market, the one right kind of in front of Mustard Seed. I think that's a perfect
Mhm.
because it's right there, it's by lights and by everything. You know, the one over there by the library kind of like, you know, is in a cut kind of like we know where it's at, but it's easier to be vandalized than the other one.
There will be stickers on it. Like I don't see there not being more stickers put on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the one at West Market in Merriman Road because
Mhm.
that's real close to where the LeBron James new health center is being built. And in a week it's
Yeah.
going to be open. So the
Yep.
people, it'll have a whole lot more traffic in that area right there. Yeah.
I like the idea of that one a lot too. I like that it's on both of the main roads in
Mhm.
that area. I'm just gonna say this. I kind of like I don't this MLK Junior Boulevard North Main Street. There's a ton of traffic through there every morning. I go down through there, kind of go down to Howard where that Black Lives mural we were looking at was, because if you turn right, I think literally from this intersection and go kind of like towards where we're standing, that's where that Black Lives Matter mural is. There's a ton of traffic through here nowadays. And that's a pretty good one. There's not a ton of art over there there's a lot small pieces of art, like kind of back in, you have to drive around up by Luigi's, etc. You know,
Mhm.
I like that area, and I kind of like Merriman here, because if we look back at the map, that would give you one like here, and then the other one would be like all the way down here. So it kind of geographically distributes them too, whereas all those other boxes are literally right in this one area.
Mhm.
Then we would have another box geographically dispersed down more towards uh where Lock 15 and all that is over by like Luigi's, etc. But it also crosses into, it seems like there's some boxes also in Ward 5 right over there. So
I'm not sure which ward Market and Aqueduct is. That's like right across the street from the McDonald's.
yeah,
And I Promise School. It's a beautiful visual. For some reason, I thought that was the Market in Merriman, but it's not. Um, it's where the two streets, North Street and Aqueduct, come together, and then you have Market. There's a huge
it's like a garden
box
almost,
right
right? With
there.
like a fountain, and is that the
Yeah,
area? Yeah, I
it's
know
like
what
a
you're
little
talking
park.
about. I
Mhm.
like
It's
that
a
area.
pocket park.
I like
It's
that.
what?
It's a pocket park.
Oh, okay.
It's very cool. It's in the West Hill neighborhood, and I did a tour about it. Like I didn't facilitate it, but I went on a walking tour about it, and it's really cool. And I can't remember the
Mhm.
name of it right now.
I think I learned the name of it at some point as well, and also do not remember. We're in the same boat on that one. Um, I know that that one says it's not as high traffic, but I think all of us, that is just one intersection basically. So I don't know how that was calculated, because that intersection you're talking about, Summer, is like gigantic, isn't it? There's like 4 roads coming in right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Each
may have
side.
to add up all the roads. So it may be one saying Market and Aqueduct and Market and North.
Mhm.
So if we add up those two, it could be high. But I mean, if that's an area that you guys like, then yeah, you
Yeah.
can make mhm. And then
Stephanie
we
and
could just
Roberta, I'm
add
curious
it
what you guys think.
Is that, it's near where the McDonald's is? Is
right
that what
across
you?
the street.
This one is
Mhm.
Yeah.
for sure.
But
Yeah.
that park there, it has like a lot of transient or hobo not people that come there and frequent and mess it up. I don't know if that'd be deterrent for the area.
Well, no, I probably wouldn't use
We
that
can't
term
do
for
that.
the area.
But
But
yeah,
there are people that sit in that park. There are people
yeah,
that go across the streets from McDonald's. No difference than Highland Square.
okay,
There's just
yeah,
no bars and things down there, but that is right there at a bus stop too.
yeah.
And you have
Mhm.
businesses. You have the I Promise School across the street. You have the McDonald's. You have
I think it's just Frank's Place, which the community of Frank's Place is like nice. I don't think that'd be a problem at all
well,
at
that's a little
Rockneys.
further up. Frank's Place is closer to Merriman.
It's closer
We're
to
we're a little further down
where's
by
it at? This
the old
one.
Bussey's
Yeah.
Cleaners,
Yeah.
Kia.
Mm.
There's like I think a liquor
Leaf,
store right
the
there, and the
plant
city
stores
maintains
down there,
that
I think.
park. Mhm.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
I was
will.
So the
just,
goal
I
is
was,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
is the goal to vote on one of these 5 or
Oh, well,
3
these are
of
the
them?
highest traffic ones, so it doesn't have to be one of these, but the goal is to have a discussion about which ones we think would be the best. It'd be great to select it down to 2. And
But
then
we can
go to
also
the
do a
next.
survey,
Yeah.
Andy, too. So you guys, I would say
Yeah.
discuss it. If we need to add to it, please give your thoughts. And then we can move to the next ward because we don't have a whole lot of time for,
Yeah.
tons of discussion or selection. But I
Mhm.
would say review each one, each ward, each page, whatever. And then if there's something missing that you would like to add, please add. We'll add it and then we'll submit a survey for then you to vote
Yeah,
on your
like
top
another
3 or
Google
4.
Microsoft form, I mean, was what
Yeah,
Haley put together last time. Microsoft
yeah,
form would be great actually with the images, actually.
yeah,
Um, I think the images, since they're the highest traffic areas too, it seems, is probably going to be like a good bucket to select from.
yeah,
Knowing that we can request to add additional things. I
yeah.
like that idea a lot.
But I would add, if you want to request
Hmm.
to add, do that now. And then we can have a conversation with the people that are missing, and I'll give a deadline
Yeah.
for them to add. And then we'll get the survey out end of the month. Or it's only the 10th. We'll get the survey out,
Hmm.
and then you guys can select that, and then we can discuss at our next meeting. So if we're missing locations that you think would fit best, such as for this one, I would say the Market, Aqueduct, and North Street corner would be a good selection. We can add that and then move to the next slide per your
Gotcha.
discussion.
Stephanie, I know you were about to say something. What were you going to say?
yeah, I, in the question of anything to add, it's more like we have the high trafficked areas covered and we have the different wards. So with that, I feel like we almost can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't have much more to add until there's a reason to make a finer selection or decision.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that completely. This is actually incredibly helpful. It's a little bit easier when you can see everything. So this is Ward 2. So this is the old church's chicken. So this is over by, there should be a radio station over there, I think, actually, right down the road from this. If there still is. Let me see. Let me pull up the map. Ward 2. Oh, and this is Swenson's right off the highway. This is by Emilio's Pizza. So this is right by the school in North Hill. This is right by south of where they had the Better Block. And it's also close to like where No High, I think, and other stuff is, and now Square Scullery and stuff. So it's that Circle K kind of on the corner there.
No, you're
This is
right
Emilio's
there.
Pizza, right?
That's Emilio's. I think Square
Yeah.
Scullery is at the other end.
Yeah.
Square Scullery is closer to Cahaga Street.
So
And
this is right
Just
by the
that kind of road.
venue. What's that place called? That little Italian place, the venue?
The venue. I know what you're talking about. It's across, it's kind of where it's over this way.
Yeah.
the old
Mhm.
Italian Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's
So
where we at right there.
that's in that area.
Yeah. Yep, that's the
Yeah.
area there.
And there's a school right before and after this one. There's a lot of So the thing I know about this is if you drive down Talmadge Avenue, you're basically at a stop still for this entire road for like 30 minutes to get up the road. And there's a ton of foot traffic up and down the road. You'll just see kids, and there's a lot of diversity in this neighborhood. It's kind of a wonderful neighborhood. It's really nice to drive through for all the different markets and businesses. But there's a ton of foot traffic next to this box specifically, and a ton of actual traffic where someone's probably going to actually be stopped on the road right there to see it. So that traffic light by the Burger King, I think, backs up like immediately. That wouldn't be a bad one in my opinion.
Mhm.
This is Swenson's. So Swenson's, I think, behind this because this is the Swenson's corporate office. So this is right uphill from the Gorge Metro Park, if you remember that one. This is also over there, I think, if I remember correct. This is a new building, right? That's also kind of in the same area.
That's a school, and that's right across the street from the Swensons.
Yeah,
That's the
so
school
these
that
are
sits up
on
on the hill.
opposite corners, aren't they? Pretty much, or close to. They're like
They're
pretty
like right
close.
across the street from each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
kind of
thought
like
so.
more diagonal. Mhm.
I thought I saw that and I'm like, these are across this new building's across the street. I didn't realize that. Talmadge Avenue and Home Avenue. So this is the same intersection, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so we would only choose one of these. So between the East Cuyahoga Falls Avenue and Front Street and Riverside Drive, we would only choose one because otherwise we'd be putting them both right in the same intersection. And the East Talmadge Avenue and Home Avenue, I'm having a hard time. I'm gonna zoom in on that. This one I'm having a hard time. I don't see any like land posts, but I kind of know the
So
avenue. I know
Home
exactly.
and Talmadge, that's when you
It's
come
right.
off of Home, you would turn left to go down Talmadge. You would cross over to go
The
into
bridge.
Cuyahoga
Yeah.
Falls.
Oh,
So
I
you're
see where it's
crossing
at.
over and you're going, like, say you're going to Steak and Shake
Yeah.
or to
Yeah, to turn left to go to Howe Avenue because you go up the road here and turn left and it goes all the way over to Howe.
no. If you're on Home,
Mhm.
if you turn left, you're on Talmadge. If you stay on Home and cross over Talmadge, you're going towards Home Avenue. So you'll be going towards like the Steak and Shake, the car dealership, BJ's.
BJ's. Yeah, okay. We're in
Right.
the
So,
same
but
spot.
you
I
have to
think.
cross over Talmadge.
Yeah.
Home crosses over Talmadge. So
Yeah.
this is right there on the corner, which I don't know if this would really be a great location because
Yeah, you can't see
you
it.
have to get down into the weeds. You have that guardrail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that off bat. Actually, that was my first comment on this one is that it's like behind this big pole and behind the guardrail, and I don't know that you would see when driving. I know where this is at. I don't know if you'd be able to see that super well, actually. I think it's almost easier to see from this picture than it would be from your car.
But right there at that spot, that light, it just seems to last forever. So the traffic is stopped for a while. But
yeah, everything on
what I
Talmadge
always
Avenue, I think, is basically just like a traffic anti-pattern. It's just Talmadge
seem to
Avenue
be
is my
stopped
least favorite
forever.
road
And
to
then,
drive down.
there's no turns on red, so you're
I
stopped
agree
there.
with you completely. I'm
Now,
not gonna lie, I
Francis
think this one's
Avenue
my
and
favorite.
Main Street, that's where the old
Yeah.
Church's Chicken used to be. I think now it's a business. You have Huntington Bank right across the street. You have a laundromat across the street. So that's closer to Cuyahoga Falls Avenue. The Francis and
Let me see here because I could probably pull up quick because we're in 2, right? So we're
you're in 2.
talking Home. Where's the highway at? Right here. So this is Talmadge Road right here when you're
Mhm.
looking at it. And so most of the ones we were looking at are like literally right here. I think one was on Home. And then the one that was on, what was that last one we were talking about where the old Church's Chicken was? Is that over in this area?
That
I'm
was
trying to
Francis
remember.
and Main. So it's about 2 blocks down from Amedio's.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I know exactly. All right. That like may help me remember. Okay. That's here then. So it's over in this area. Gotcha. So most of the high traffic boxes are either going to be along, pretty much all going to be along Talmadge Avenue right here. Is pretty much what it's saying, or on Main. So either Talmadge or Main. So it's kind of this giant
I
block
feel
right
like
here.
the Cuyahoga Falls and Riverside right near the school, that would have a lot of traffic because of, or like stop traffic because of like child pickup around
Yeah.
like, around like
Well,
2:30, 3 o'clock.
I
And also
agree,
like,
but I
yeah,
also there's another school that's like right down the road from that one on the left, the
yeah.
elementary school on Talmadge
Mhm.
Road. And so between
Jennings.
those two, there's actually like a ton of traffic between both of them and foot traffic with those. I agree. Um, I like the one by Emilio's actually specifically for that reason because it's high traffic and it's between the schools, so you get the school pickup traffic and it's like a highly like there's a ton of like businesses right on the street over there. I think it's a nice area. Um, does everyone feel like you have an okay understanding of where these are at though? Or does anyone have any like specific comments on any of them, like for or against, other than these being on the same intersection?
I mean, maybe similar to how we were talking about like the donut design being near
A business or like
yeah,
advertising it?
right. And I know we don't have anything like specific to Swenson's. I don't think. I can't remember. Um, but just being like right next to Swenson's corporate office, it feels like we're getting a little bit into that same conversation. Even though we're not actually advertising for them at all. It's just basically like it looks like it's on their property. And I know it's not like the business that sells the burgers, it's the corporate office, but at the same time, I like I think I'm going towards like wanting it near the schools or like wanting it near a place that has multiple businesses around. So like it still gets traffic, but it's not just like, hey, this is this business's traffic control box.
Yeah. The one
Yeah.
thing that I do like about that intersection, maybe if it's the other side of the road, is that it's further away from the other ones in like a slightly different part of the neighborhood, whereas everything else is kind of there in that X on Talmadge Avenue and Main Street, whereas that other one is over by the gorge, so it's closer to like Cuyahoga Falls. Um that way. And
And again,
so
I mean,
yeah.
we'll do a survey and then you guys will select it, like your locations. And then after that, you have to pick which art is going to go where, right? So
Yeah, that's gonna be the really hard part, I think so.
yeah, so there's a lot of work to still be done.
All right, Ward 3. There are a lot of intersections here for this one. 2, 5, 6, 7. We have the 7 highest trafficked ones here. And Ward 3 is, if I bring this up, right here. So it's kind of the Kenmore area. Summit Lake in Ward 3.
Summit Lake is in Ward 3,
Yeah,
but it's
Summit is,
also the zoo,
yeah.
Vernon Odom by Helen Arnold, on up to Hawkins,
It's also just this whole like the inner
Cedar
belt
by the
kind of neighborhood.
hospital. Huh?
So everything right off the inner belt basically and south of it by Summit Lake. Summit
Yeah.
Lake's the southern part, southern Summit Lake and Kenmore. And then if you come north, it's kind of everything on each side of the inner belt. So the zoo would be on this side of the inner belt, and then everything else inside here is like apartments, and then Canal Place. You're starting to get over by Canal Place by the city. I think at that point you're pretty much in downtown. So that's Ward 3. Um, the kind of the corners of that. So there's a lot here. So I think most of the traffic here is probably along Vernon Odom Boulevard, the inner belt, right off the highway, especially like coming south towards Summit Lake neighborhood. They're doing a lot of construction stuff over by Summit Lake. I think they're putting a highway exit right there, right by Summit Lake now too. Come over. And you could see there's some here that are literally in downtown, by where Canal Place is. So this East Cedar and High Street are, again, I think literally on the same block.
Hmm.
And these are kind of down by where Canal Place is, right on Main Street, kind of past the stadium, the baseball stadium.
It runs into like Exchange Street. So I
Yeah.
think Cedar turns into Exchange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but we don't have a whole lot in the neighborhood. So like thinking Hawkins or like Superior. Maybe
Yeah, we might
Superior
have
is
to
Ward
add some to
4.
this one because I see why these are the highest trafficked ones because of downtown, but I don't know if they're the most like community ones for Ward 3, for what Ward 3 is.
Yeah.
Stephanie, are you Ward 3? I know you're Summit Lake proponent, so you'd have like a lot of maybe insight on where good locations for Ward 3 might be. So we have Barches and High Street.
That one on West Exchange and South Maple
Sorry, I'm
Street, that's good.
No, you're
late
good.
on unmuting on my phone. It's where to get the screen to make the little button to push. Is it uh yeah, it's hard to say because where more traffic is, there's also foot traffic, and foot traffic and bikes and people are gonna see it a little bit more than the cars are.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
What is the Summit? Is that Crozier where Summit Lake Community Center sits on? Crozier and Dart? Is that what? I think there's a box
Yeah.
like right dead smack in the middle.
Crozier and Dart. Crozier.
And then the BMW place, that's a really, really high traffic area. You have the BMW, you
Yeah.
have Shaydale, you have Krispy Kremes, you have
Yep.
like that's a big, the post office.
Yeah,
So
and
a lot of
that's
people
over
are,
here, I think. Closer to downtown. This is in downtown at this point. It's like over here somewhere, actually. Yeah.
hey, Andy, for the sake of time, do you want to just kind of like go over, just look at all of the locations? And then, if you guys have other locations in mind, I would ask that you could get that to me by, I would say next Wednesday.
Yeah. I would be interested too if anyone's up for it. I would be interested in talking more about some of the locations and stuff because I think we went through a few wards now, and I think what we learned getting here almost halfway through is that there's some that are on the same intersection, they're high traffic, and there's some that maybe like high car traffic but low foot traffic or bike traffic and stuff, like Stephanie said, or may not necessarily be representative of the ward. And so I think those are things to think about we go to vote, that the ones that are shown here in the high traffic areas are probably good, but there's going to be some situations where we probably don't want to choose two of them because of proximity or something else. So I'd be okay with that. Looking at it after.
So go back to Ward 4 really
Mhm.
quick. You guys look at the Ward 4. When I was talking about Hawkins, I guess that's 4.
Yeah.
And then that West Market and South Hawkins, that's right there in the middle. So you guys it's tons of traffic that way, foot and car traffic. I think we kind of discussed that a while ago too.
Yeah, I remember us mentioning this box specifically.
Summer, do you still have the list that people gave prior to all this before it started when we start talking about this? The list that people was
You saying like
suggested?
the list that you sent, and I think you and Roberta may have sent some locations. Is that
Yeah.
what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gave that, and I guess that just didn't show like high traffic, but we can add that. So if you
Gotcha.
want to, we can look at that and add it.
Yeah.
I
That
have
sounds
opinions about this one
Yeah.
off bat that I wouldn't do these two in this
Which
one.
two?
Which ones?
This one, White Pond Crossing and White Pond Drive. There is like a lot of traffic through there, but it's for the daycare and then for the corporate park that's right next to it. I don't
Mm.
know that there's like that much traffic through there. The only thing is cars technically do back up because this is right by the highway on ramp there.
Yeah.
That's
It's
by
by
the
the First
restaurant.
Energy building.
Restaurant.
Yeah, by Don Yacy's.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's how you pronounce it, huh?
Don Yacy's. That's how I pronounce it. I don't know if it's the right way to pronounce it. I'm just gonna
I think we all have a different
put a warranty on that.
pronunciation.
Dagnacy's, Don Yacy's. However you say it. Dagnacy's. I'm just butchering it, I'm sure. That's fine.
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah.
my best up here. I like these two. personally. I think these two are going to be like a really high traffic areas. This Walgreens over here, I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
That's
Because
my
Oh, yeah,
thought
that
on
comes
these.
side of the Walgreens is a CVS, so there
Yeah.
is like a lot of traffic right there on that corner, and
Oh
uh,
yeah,
two restaurants on the other side of the street. So it is a
yeah,
lot of traffic there.
exactly.
and that's
And
part of the
this,
great streets also.
yep.
Yeah.
So the Great Streets, the location of these two is just so high traffic area, and people are gonna see
Mhm.
them like
Yeah.
every day. So my vote would be for those when I go vote.
Yeah.
It's my personal opinion though. Ward 5. So we're looking at
East Akron.
East Akron right here.
Mhm. East Akron, some of it runs into Cahaga Street. And then some of it is like close to downtown. So that's Ward 5.
I'm familiar with Kelly Avenue, and then I'm familiar with portions of Ward 5, but it's so long and tall that I'm like kind of blanking on what's in Ward 5 versus just the surrounding wards.
Middlebury is
Middlebury.
Middlebury? I think
Part of-
Middlebury
Yeah,
is 5.
Middlebury's part of it. Yeah.
Part of Middlebury's in 10 too, isn't it? Or
It could,
is that
yes,
too
going
far? Yeah.
down
East Market.
that back Arlington
Yeah.
end. Yes.
Because Middlebury's like right here, and then it crosses over with East Market a little bit before you get across the highway and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Because the
Yeah.
highway's down here. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. And Howard Street. Okay. I think I see this. I think I'm getting a better idea of this then.
Yep.
I'm sure I'll recognize when I see the pictures. Yeah, I recognize all these spots.
Mhm.
So the Popeyes, everyone knows. That's actually East Talmadge. We might not want to choose that one if we choose the ones by the schools, because that's also between both of those schools we just mentioned on East Talmadge Avenue, by the way. That
Mhm.
kind of just comes up between there. So the Medio's Pizza one we just looked at is like a few, like up down. I think it's the next block or two over from this
It's the
one,
next
actually.
block up. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Finley School is right behind that
Yeah.
Popeyes
Yep.
elementary school.
This is
And that
a-
dollar store isn't always open though. I don't know. Doesn't matter much.
Yeah.
That East Market and High, that's like right after is by Blue Teak. I mean the Blue
Yes.
Jazz
Yep.
and United Way.
By Green Dragon
Mhm.
Inn and Boutique and the board game
And then
place,
Summit
and then
Art
the art
Space across the
museum.
street.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
So I mean,
okay.
because it has the art, that probably would be a good location because Summit Art Space is right
Yeah.
across the street.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
This one here is right after you get off the highway ramp, that goes towards Dave's Market, like the road that goes all the way up towards Dave's Market and the mattress store. That's right off the highway. So there's a highway exit ramp behind
Yeah.
this. So if you turn
Yeah.
around, that's where people get off the highway and turn left or right on this main road here on Arlington.
Yeah.
So people coming
Mm.
up Arlington from the Popeyes all the way down on Arlington, not this Popeyes on East Town, which there's another Popeyes down the road, all the way up through past
Passing
the highway
Hoban.
and up towards Dave's Market. It's kind of that alignment of road. Get on the highway or get off of it from right here. A lot of university students do too if there's traffic, so you can't get on over by the university. You have to drive over here if you're going south. So this is a busy one, but I don't know how visible it would be. So it's like it's where you get off, but I think the only people who would actually see this from their car, and I don't think there's a ton of foot traffic actually. The only people would see this from their car are the people getting off the highway exit in one direction, I think. So I
The
don't know how
Martin
good one that
Avenue and
is.
the Fifth Avenue are kind of right close to each other
Yeah,
because the Fifth
this one's
Avenue
right
is
there
right where
too, yeah.
Hoban is, and about a block or two up, you have the Martin Street. That's where I think the children's home is in
Yeah.
that area. So those are kind of like right in the same vicinity.
This one
That box
here,
at Martin Luther King and Summit, that's a beautiful box. Like it's
Mhm.
big. That's Perkins Avenue, and then it turns down into North Street. Like if you're going down back by the railroad tracks, you can make a left and go towards Luigi. So that box is just so big and it's there.
yeah, big beautiful box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only one I'm opposed to here is this one. If we choose the one by Medios, for the other ward, only because of the proximity. And then this one's kind of just hidden a little bit, in my opinion. I like the idea. This one's right in the smack dab of downtown. by all the art. So in the historic arts district. So
Yeah. And just like we did with the other survey, we'll probably put the pictures and the wards, and then you guys will pick. And you might have to do like 2 different surveys to be able to narrow it down. But I think it's a good way to move
so
forward.
something I have to say about this as a lifelong resident of Ellet in Ward 6 is that the East Side lamppost is not there anymore. The owners did move the business across the street, and so they call it the East Side lamppost now, but this was the lamppost, and I don't know, it's not there, and
Well,
it's
the
not
new
the same.
lamppost is across the street. It's closer to this box.
It is.
And then
This
you
is
have the
Dunkin'
McDonald's,
Donuts
the
now.
Arby's.
Yeah, there is foot traffic here. And the reason I know there's foot traffic here is because I walk by this like 3 times a week when I go on my nightly walks and I see other people walking. So people walk here because I walk by it. So
And isn't this the one that goes to Hillbish too?
yeah,
So
this
you
is
can
like
take
a
the back
triangle
way.
almost, but this one's like really heavy. Marissa McClellan actually just did a mural with like art and stuff on the subway that's right up the road from here. This Dunkin' Donuts might be the most highly trafficked Dunkin' Donuts I've like ever seen, actually. Whoever bought that Dunkin' Donuts is rolling in dough. And the East Side lamppost is right there, which is like kind of another Ward 6
No
staple.
pun intended.
The subway, yeah, rolling in dough. I didn't even think about that, but it makes sense. But I like all the kind of, for me, the lamppost, like not as a business. People come just to go to the lamppost literally at midnight, and that's visible from the lamppost. This one's also right down the road from that. So these are almost right next to each other. So if you looked really far on this one down the road there, right next to the highway, that's where this one is. It's also super visible. This one, it looks like it's super visible and it's big, but people sit really far back from the traffic lights. So this intersection is like on 224. It's where that Chipotle is in the new Get-Go by the blimp dock. So you can see the blimp dock from this traffic box. Like if you turned 180 from that traffic box, you see the blimp dock. Really beautiful in the afternoon. You can see the entire sky and get like a nice sunset photo. I do it every day.
Yeah. That would be a
But
great location, getting right off that highway
yeah,
and going
I don't
into
know how
Magdeburg.
visible it would be is my only issue, only because people drive through there incredibly quickly. And on both sides of that intersection, they sit back really far because the intersection's so big. From both sides, I don't know if you would actually be able to see the traffic box, but I don't know that for certain. I might drive by. Will drive by today actually to get home. So I'm gonna take a look at it and see if it is because I like that one actually. I like that area. It's over by like the Blimp Dock and Hop and Frog and all that. So if these are the only 3 like highest traffic ones in that area, I think it would be good to choose one of these because they're so close to each other and then have this one be the other one. And I have to think off the top of my head if there's another box that would be good in Ward 6.
Well, I know, Andy, I have asked, it's probably going on 2 years now before you guys even started. You're out in the community.
I'm thinking about them.
So like,
I have a lot of ideas, but I think I'm biased
just
because I live in Ward 6. That's the issue.
yeah, just take a picture, and we'll be able to say, oh, take a picture of the box, but like make sure there's like something visible where we can say, oh,
Where
that's
it's
such and
at.
such street in that area. Yeah.
I'm
going to have to do a hard stop at 5:30. So do
okay.
you want to go through the rest of them?
I figure it's good just to talk about as much as we can, right? While
Okay.
we're all here. Just some of these things to have extra context. I'm cool with that. We're actually more than halfway through. So
Oh, we're on 7. Okay.
yeah. So 7 is, we were just in 6. 7 is very South Akron. Waterloo Road's like this is like Firestone Park area. And all the way south down to the highway 224. So you're talking DeCecco's Pizza and Sheets. And as you go north, you're talking about
South Akron, kind of.
South Akron. I'm trying to remember some of the business names off over there. It's after you pass, if you're leaving Canal Place and you go under the highway and pass all the way down that way, all the way down to 224.
Are you talking about Wolf Ledges Parkway?
Wolf Ledges. Well, I don't know if Wolf Ledges is over there or not. I think it might be actually where you get off of 70.
It's like 7, I think, is like Brown Street.
I think Wolf Ledges Parkway actually might be north more, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
It might be closer to the city because Wolf Ledges Parkway runs all the way up to Myers School of Art up that way. That's where it ends by the Student Union in Akron. And it goes all the way down kind of by
The Brown Street,
Yeah.
the Grant Street.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at the pictures. Triplet in South Arlington. This is actually by that Popeyes I just mentioned, the other Popeyes. There's Burger King, Walgreens. I know where this is at. This is on the other side of the international airport. It's also kind of by the
Triplet.
blimp dock, but yeah, it's the Triplet Road area. If you all go all the way down Triplet Road and Kelly Avenue kind of area, it's really close to that. But you go all the way to Arlington, it's like right there. You turn left, I think. No, it's on literally on Triplet. Okay, it's the intersection. I was like, I know it's in that area. Wilbeth Street and Brown Street. I'm not as familiar with these two. I'm trying to think about Giant Eagle. Oh, Waterloo Street and Brown Street. This is literally on where Chipotle, Giant Eagle, etc. All of that is right there in the middle of Firestone Park.
Yeah.
So I think
Waterloo
this
Road
is
Restaurant is across the street from it. That's a
Yeah.
very high traffic area, and they've just really like added more to that plaza. So that plaza
like
is
that.
looking really, really nice.
That's a vote for me for that one.
Yeah. That's a really high traffic strip. This Bridgestone one is kind of by Bridgestone, and that's also by, if you know where the what's our women's baseball team called?
Baseball.
It's right there.
Softball stadium.
Softball.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's right by their stadium, just two fields right there. And I think a lot of people know where that is. And there's also like a big like FedEx facility there too.
Yep.
But there's a
Across
lot
the
of
street.
traffic through there.
And it's
I don't
over
know where
going
this-
towards like Firestone Park Elementary School, Garfield High School, if you
Yeah.
take that back way down Main Street. So that is very high traffic area too.
Waterloo Road and South Firestone Boulevard.
You blow that picture up a little bit.
This is also right down the road from this one, I think. They're like right next. I think if you walk down the road, this is there. It's just in the same plaza almost. I think Big Lots is back there, maybe.
Oh, mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Chipotle, Big Lots, and all that's still here. I don't know that Key Bank is on the north or south side of the road, but I think it's on the same road for sure. I will say those boxes look smaller than the other ones too, as a consideration, but I like the area because that's definitely there's a lot of stoplights and foot traffic through there, I think.
And that's also another thing to talk about with whatever company that we go with. The sizes are all different. So, you know, one box may be very large, the other box may be very skinny and narrow and tall. So they're not using the same amount of material for each box.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of like important to pick the boxes too, the locations, so that we can get the size of each box to be able to give that to the company, because those prices can't be the same for each box because they're different sizes.
For sure. Okay, Ward 8. I know we have like 1 minute left, just to the last one, and then we're gonna adjourn the meeting. Ward 8's up here. Actually, this would be a good place to stop because I don't think we have people from Ward 8, right? But we don't have them here right now. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Let's just
I'm
stop
Ward
here.
8, but my vote doesn't count.
Well, everyone's vote counts.
Okay, so let's do Ward 8 then.
Oh, you want to look at Ward 8 together? Okay. I want to know I'm curious if I'm going to remember anything from Ward 8 actually. Oh, I know right where this is at. This is Merriman Valley. This is right in the Merriman Valley intersection where the train comes by. There's a ton of foot traffic there because they just finished that new leg of Sand Run Parkway. Oh, and
that
this is
Portage Path and North Portage Path. That would be a great location because right there you have people coming down Portage Trail from Timber Tops. You have Akron Peninsula Road coming into Portage Path.
And from the parks like Hampton Hills, and then right down, people go down to all those businesses down in Merriman Valley. Yeah, this is more visible than this one. And these are pretty close to each other, but this one's more visible for sure.
Yeah.
This one
and then the
is
Pershing
pretty
that's
visible.
that's very busy. It's across the street from Ken
Ken
Stewart's,
Stewart's,
across the
yeah.
street from
Taco Bell, I mean, that's an
the gas
important
station.
landmark.
Mhm.
That Taco Bell has saved my life a few times. I don't remember where this is at.
That
West Market, North
is,
Revere Road.
expand that out a little bit for
Oh,
me.
I know
So
where this is at. This is by this is on Market Street by the golf course.
Yeah.
Where you turn down to go into the Firestone Country Club. I think that this road goes into Firestone Country Club. Like this is the entrance to it. And that goes all the way down by the golf course if you go down this road.
And that's right where Akron and Fairlawn meets.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Was that it for those two?
I think it
I mean,
I think
for
it is
Ward
for
8?
that. Yeah, there's two other intersections like Merriman and Weathervane, which Merriman and Weathervane, that is that's right where that's kind of where the towpath trail is by the bike shop.
And the
By Weathervane Play
McDonald's
Theater.
and
Yeah,
Social Aid and
yep.
all, yeah. But I
And
would
North.
say for Ward 8, another one would be Garmin and South Hawkins, even though it may not get a lot of vehicle traffic, but it gets a lot of foot traffic. And it's coming as you're coming from Arcos or BW3s, and you're coming up South Hawkins to get to Firestone. Or if you were to turn left on Garmin, you're going kind of hit it towards you can get to Firestone, you Case Elementary School, and if you go further up, Stan Hewitt. So it's a great location because it's like the railroad tracks and traffic stops right there. A lot. So that's may not a high vehicle area, but it's a great location to put some art because it's all woods. And to put art right there, it would make that area pop.
I like that idea. We hit 5:30. Do we want to put the brakes on it?
Yeah. I mean, if we can talk about these next two areas quickly.
Yeah. I mean, Ward 9, this right here is 224. So this is also kind of like right by Sheets and stuff, very south, I think. Ward 9 is, let me put this up here. Down south, down here.
Ward 9, I think it's Kenmore.
224 is here. Yeah. So we're talking Manchester Road, Kenmore Boulevard.
But I think some more could probably be discussed about Firestone Boulevard down in the Firestone area. I mean, not Firestone, Kenmore Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Kenmore Boulevard and 16th. That would,
Yep, right there on this main strip. Yeah. One of those great streets initiatives too, right? Here, Manchester Road and US Highway 224 off-ramp. I'm pretty sure I know where this is at, and I don't think that's a good spot. I don't know if you could see anything there that easily. This one, I think you can, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That one has a few different intersections where they meet. You're getting off the highway like you're going into Coventry.
Yeah.
So you have, that's like that's Waterloo Road, and you're going down. So I mean, that would probably be a good location too, because people are getting right off the highway. But Ward 10.
I'm gonna have to look at these more just because.
Oh, Megan jumped off.
This is Goodyear. So this is Six Corners in Goodyear. This is like if you go up that way, it's Chapel Hill Mall. If you go up that way, it's going towards
Cyberling School, the Reservoir.
Cyberling, the Reservoir, exactly. And if you come back, it's going towards downtown. And then East Market and South Arlington. This is by, where's this at?
That's more Middlebury right there.
It is. Yeah. Okay. This is by the Army Reserve store, is literally there on the corner.
The
There's a few small
businesses.
Right yeah, on the left. This is by Dave's Market too. And that's the Goodyear. This is the Goodyear building, clock tower and stuff. So the Goodyear sign's right there, actually visible to the right of it. This is a really busy intersection right here. East Exchange in Arlington. this is also right by Dave's Market. That's Dave's Market behind this. So this is
Mhm.
also really close to this one. It's just kind of, there's this big triangle where they're building like this new little coffee shop kind of stand thing in there. I don't know if you guys, so it's called Scooters or something. I saw it. That's where that is, by the mattress store still. And then Cason East Market. This is also close to there, but this is at the bottom of the bridge. So if you're actually looking at this top right one, if you see where that clock tower is and you see the bottom of the hill, how there's like a hill down in the road and coming back up, it's literally at the bottom of that hill on the left side of the bridge. So it's like right there. Um, that's a pretty high traffic area too. That I think you probably get some foot traffic through, but it's also a pretty small box. But that one's probably the closest one to the Goodyear sign that's on here, actually. I think there has to be that intersection. Isn't there an intersection that's right by the Goodyear library and the Goodyear sign and all that over there? That
By the
might be a
Hilton
good,
Hotel, yeah, there's an
yeah.
intersection there.
I almost
But
feel like that
also
would
right
be
here
a
at
good one to
Case,
add.
if you turn left, you're
Yeah.
going up towards Goodyear Heights. If you turn right, you're going into like Arlington and back behind the old Goodyear building.
Yeah, yep. By the
Yeah.
library and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think majority of your people have jumped off as far as quorum. So yeah.
Well, we don't have quorum. We can't adjourn. So
We
I
don't
guess
have
we have to
quorum
keep the
anymore.
meeting
No.
going till next month.
Yeah. So maybe we could like we've talked about it. Everyone can take a look at this
Mhm.
meeting to kind of see what we discussed. And then we also need to, well, we don't have to. I sent out an email about the August meeting, looking at either the first Wednesday or the third Wednesday. So you guys can get back to me on that. I think that's about all. No public comment. So
Yeah, there's nothing else on the agenda either, I think. So we're good to go. We don't have quorum, but do we want a motion to adjourn? Or are we just good to adjourn? Summer, we gonna
you
get
wouldn't make a motion to adjourn because you don't have quorum, so you would just end the meeting. And then I think far as the next meeting, you kind of would close it out and
okay.
then approve the minutes.
That sounds good to me. I know that we basically didn't have anyone today, so Jessica.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you had the hand up. I was curious if you had some. All right.
Oh no,
Well,
clapping.
I'm gonna go
Roberta,
ahead
you're
and
muted if you're trying
end
to
the
speak.
Oh,
meeting.
no, I'm fine.
I had fun looking at these traffic boxes, actually. This is fun. I like trying to think. It's like GeoGuessr or something for Akron.
I thought it was
Alrighty.
all the pictures look just how it is outside. Like it's all cloudy. All the pictures look like, is that just Akron weather?
Just as depressing as the real Akron. Is that what you're saying? I'm just kidding.
Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
I need to hop off.
Okay.
But is there anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Okay.
No.
So
No.
take a look at what we just reviewed, give some feedback. I'll send out an email to everyone. And then we can move forward. Because I think
That
really
sounds good to
selecting the
me.
location of the boxes is most imperative to getting a better quote.
That'll work.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Sounds good.
Bye, everyone.
All right,
Okay.
take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.